All right. So coming back to the definition of programming. So this has to be kept in mind that we're sort of solving problems, right? And when I say problems, it need not be mathematical problems every time. So every problem is mathematical, right? At some level. Okay. Math also involves logic. So when I say logic, when I say comparing to, let's say you enter your hall ticket number for to check your results, and then you also enter your name and date of birth maybe. So the credentials that you have entered is being evaluated with something that is stored in the backend. And then in that second, the computer is basically checking if both of them are right. And it's a match. And then you are allowed inside. Even that is math, right? Is equal to is also math. Greater than is also math, right? So some pages does not allow you to enter if you are not above a certain age limit, or if you're not coming from a specific background. And that is sort of comparing, right? So when I say math, it necessarily need not be always complex computation, right? It can be as fundamental as basic operations also. So that is taken care by programming. Okay. And usually computers, I mean, you guys might be knowing this already, that our laptops, I mean, these machines don't understand words like us, right? So they are, they only understand zeros and ones. So this is, and that is called machine language, right? So like, so it's like a layer, and then you have a hardware of your computer, this machine language. On top of that, there are different layers of languages, and you sort of talk at a very high level, and everything gets translated, and then at the end goes to that, everything gets converted to that zeros and ones, and then after that it gets, yeah, right. Just like, when you sort of when you switch on your flash of your mobile phone, you don't sort of switch it on, right? You don't have a button, you don't have a switch, a physical switch, but you do it through the UI. You do it through an user interface, which is a software. You just, a neatly designed UI, and then you have an icon for a torch. You open that torch, and then sort of that command translate to the hardware of the mobile phone, and then something gets triggered, and then your flashlight is on. Correct? I think this explains you how it travels, how a code travels from the beginning to the end. So, and now one must be wondering, and just for your information, if I tell you that what is a 0 and 1 fundamentally, so these are all electronics, right? These are electronics, small electronics. Like if you open and you see a small motherboard and all. So these zeros and ones are nothing but electrical pulses. These are voltages fundamentally. So a specific value of voltage denotes 0. A specific value of micro or millivolts, right? So that is again low level design. That's not the, but I'm just trying to tell you how it flows from the beginning to the end, right? Are you getting? So these are the popular programming languages that are available right now in the market. There are hundreds of such programming languages. Okay, these are the popular ones. Especially the programming languages that are used for consumer applications, meaning cars, ATM machines, mobile phones, web pages. So these are very, very often used by us, right? So these are those programming languages that are are used in such domains. So now, the operation is same. To accomplish a task, then talk to the computer in order to do that. Now, like every use case have different products. A mobile phone is coming from, the technology is same. You answer calls, you write text messages, you take pictures, record videos, but it's coming from different companies, right? So you have iPhone, OnePlus, Motorola, whatever. Same thing applies to programming languages also. Okay, that you have to understand this thing. So that's what I'm telling you. So when you learn programming, you're learning programming as programming, irrespective of the language. So language is something that you get as a bonus. It's like you add two numbers on any device, it's the same, right? So you have a specific now, but why are these many? I mean, why are these many programming languages in the first place? I mean, now this is very obvious to you. Like any product has specific uh, characteristics, right? So Python must be good with something. Java must be good with something, right? So I mean, uh, let's say you are designing a designing a software to launch missiles on a computer, right? Then you have a system, the missile launch pad or something, and then you're expected to design a software. The programming languages that you use for that use case will be very different than the programming language you use to build a website. Correct? Now, what will it entail? Number one is speed. So these programming languages also have speed associated with them. You might not see the speed. I mean, you might not feel the speed actually, because everything for a person outside programming, everything might be happening at a fast, right? But it's not the case, right? For example, building a POS machine, we swipe our cards, etc., right? Building a software for that is very different from building a software for, let's say, a data science project or a machine learning project. Two things are very different. Programming languages are time sensitive, right? Given programming language is different from given basis, the time it takes to execute. Now, why are we discussing execution? Because I told you it has to sort of come down to the lowest level, like a waterfall, and then finally it has to get converted, and then it has to execute. Now, that process is where it gets a bit tricky, right? So I want to sort of bring your attention to this one. Have you seen this programming language before? I mean, C++, right? So C++ is the guy who is sort of very close to the hardware, right? Which means it takes less time to execute, or it takes very less time comparatively. And this is relative terms, guys. It's not absolute. It's just comparing one programming language to the other. Okay. So when I say C++ is the fastest, yes, it is. Is it faster than anything on the world? No, it's faster than some other language. Correct? So C++ is also called a low-level language. So the language that are sort of needs a little bit of uh, uh, which takes comparatively more time are called high-level languages, and languages like C++ are called low-level languages, right? And this is the reason why you learn these languages. And if you have any friends or somebody who has taken computer science as their stream in their bachelor's, they will be taught C++ in their first semester, because the students are expected to sort of learn it from the basics, right? And then let's see the other programming languages. So this one, the last one is PHP. So PHP is a popular backend programming server-side language. So we have our web applications, right? Amazon.com. This is website, that something that you're seeing on the front side. And you open Amazon.com and you see all that interesting products that Amazon has. It's data. Do you think all that is inside your laptop? It's not, right? So, okay. So let's click on a product. You go to a next page, product description and all. Even that data is not stored, but where is it coming from? It's coming from somewhere else. And then as you click on that button, the programming takes care of which data to fetch and what you should see. So when a request, so this is called a request, right? So when a user clicks on a button on a specific option in the web page, it is a request for a computer. And the computer that handle these sorts of requests and takes care of this request and caters to this request and then sends you some information onto the front end. These programming languages are called server-side languages. So PHP is a popular server-side programming language. All right. It used to be popular, but again, other programming languages are sort of taking center stage. It's not so popular these days because there are many other programming languages also. But I mean, there are a lot of, I mean, the language is still very vibrant. Okay, because many applications. I mean, you guys, I mean, after this class, if you are interested, you can do some research as to which applications or which website use PHP. There are many. All right. Then let's come to Python, for which you guys are here today. It is also a programming language now. I think it's one thing is clear. It's common. Everything is clear. So it's also a programming language and gained importance because, as I told you, so this is a Python is a high level language. It's not low level. Now let me give you a good comparison. So I mean, let me put it in layman terms. When you are writing a low-level program, the code looks uh, very complex, right? Because you're sort of uh, writing it at a very descriptive way. Because there is no translator in the between. Just take it like that. There's no translator because I told you, right? These languages talk directly to the hardware. There's no one to help us translate this to another intermediary language. So you have to, as a programmer, you have to spend a lot of time to write it more descriptively. To just give you a context. So let's say you are doing an operation, and in Python it takes you a single line of code. The same operation, in order to achieve that, it takes like 5 to 6 lines of code in C++. The same operation. Okay. So it means you have to be more descriptive to the computer. Okay. Now that brings us to an interesting point. In Python, you relatively write lesser code, right? Now the programmer's job is getting a bit easy so that he need not describe everything, right? So lesser code means lesser syntax. I mean the syntax. So we follow a certain flow while writing this words and all, right? And this is called syntax. You must be seeing that in SQL also, select, star, and all that, right? So that is syntax. You have to write it in a certain way so the syntax for Python is relatively simpler when you compare to C++. Now that makes it beginner friendly. Okay. So a person who is coming new to programming will find it a bit easier to learn, you catch up with the language compared to any other programming language, right? So it is more beginner friendly. And then, and again, no operation is compromised, meaning you get the same functionality as you can get in any other programming language. It's just that it is simpler. But at what cost? At what cost? The cost is the speed. Python is slower. But why do we use it? We use Python for applications which are not time sensitive, for applications that do not demand high speed computing, right? So therefore, we use Python. That's right. That's right. So most of the people saying Python is new must be very speed. It's not the case. Python is slower. It's a very slow language. That's right. C++ is very fast. C language. Python is also first C came in 1970s. I don't know the exact date. I'm very bad with dates. And then first C, then C++, then Java, and then Python came in. Yeah. Okay. Now, as I told you, these applications are sort of, we use Python for applications which are not time sensitive, correct? Let's say you are analyzing a data. I mean, there's no hurry in doing that. But versus you are building a website, will I choose Python? I'll consider, right? So one thing, so now we'll come back to the other features that really help Python stand out, right? Are you guys following? Following, right? Is it clear, right? HTML5, any idea what that is? HTML, no clue. So when you are browsing a website, whatever aesthetic that you see, the colors, or at least the text formatting, so everything is taken care by HTML. So it is called a markup language. So these languages, markup languages, handle text in a website. So it stands for hypertext markup language, and it's HTML5, the newer version of HTML. And then you have Java, is also a popular programming language. It's also a high-level language, right? I just told you, right? High-level language, I told you. So there's a hierarchy of languages. I told you, right? So there's hardware, and then the language that is sort of closer to the hardware in terms like which can convert easily into binary code versus something that has to take an additional steps. So the one that is on the top is called a high-level language, right? Understood? And then you have C++, we just discussed. Any idea about this language? Heard of it? How? You came across the language once. So R is a statistical programming language. So it is more used when you are working with huge data sets and huge things, right? So exactly. Uh, it would be very, I think it's closer to your domain, right? And it's easy also. It's I think it is mostly for non-computer science background people. It's like SQL only. I think it's easy than SQL. So it's very easy. Now, this language is the last one is Swift. So this language is used to program iOS applications. Swift. Yes. So this logo is actually the bird, Swift bird. I think they get the name from there. And any application that is sitting on your iOS device is written in Swift. Okay, understood? So these are like different programming languages that way. Java is used for many applications. Java is like the mother of programming languages, right? Yes, not websites, but normal applications, mobile applications. I would say uh, hospital devices, their applications inside hospital devices, any devices that do some sort of, so every device is attached to a computer, like bigger devices, right? So all that devices are used, Java is used for that only. So if we sort of remove things from the equation, just PHP is used for website, Python, let's say it's only used for data science or analysis. HTML, bring it out of the equation because it is only for websites. Now, don't get to Java. C++, very low level language. Swift, iOS applications. R is statistical programming. And now the rest is sort of taken care by Java. Correct? So it's a very popular programming language. C++, uh, C++ is very common, usually very commonly used with for electronics. Yes. To maintain. Not maintain. To, let's say, for example, a lot of C++ is used in your laptops. Okay. Because to sort of build applications at a very low level applications. So there are a lot of applications that you guys are not using but are still active in your computer. Correct? Some like Microsoft C++. You'll see that when you go to your task bar. We'll see that after the session if you have time. You'll see a lot of these applications are running. These applications are sort of very low level, talking to the battery of the computer, maybe the scheduler, memory, all that. So that languages are built with C++. Okay. I mean, nowadays there's a lot of transitioning going on with language. So people who have built applications in PHP, they are sort of migrating to some other programming language. So it's a lot. So you guys must uh, do a little bit research about where which are being used. I think it is. Hmm.
They have their own data team which goes through all the data. They have some a team which builds on the website, browser, everything. So do they stick to only one software, or in that company do they use multiple software to achieve what they are?
Um,
Game company. Now they are supposed to build a game which should be introduced to the market. So will they use mixture of these languages, or is it like they stick to only one language to build everything?
Good question. So there is no liability for a company to stick to a single language. So it depends on what they're trying to achieve. So if a company has a data team and they're sort of uh, they're building they're building what's say games. C++ is also used to build games, right? Because games are more of graphics and all, right? So C++ is mostly into games. Now, the same company has to maintain records of their employees. Is it going to use C++ for that, or to some it will use the data analytics language, maybe R or Python or something. So it depends on the specific use case, and and all these languages are very, I would say, compatible with each other. So using one language does not prohibit someone to not use another one. So basically, you can use all of them together also. Okay. So let's go. I think Sugun. Hi, Sugun. Do you guys want to hear him talk?
Hello, sir.
Hi, Sugun. Are you here?
Yes, yes.
Just a second, okay? Where are the... Okay, you can go ahead. Tell me. Where are you from? I mean, what is your background?
Hello.
Yeah, tell me, Sugun.
Hello.
Yeah. We are able to hear you. Please tell me.
Sir, I'm from Narayanguda, sir.
All right. And what are you studying? Can you hear me? Hello.
Sir, I've done my degree in
You have done your degree in? I think there is some internet. I'll get back to you, Sugun. Okay. All right. Fine. So now let's focus on one language now. So all that has different use cases and etc. But we'll understand why Python in the first place. Okay. Are you there with us, man? So basically, whatever I have explained, summarized here. So it's well suited for beginners. Uh, Programming is something that intimidates everyone, right? Because of that syntax, and then um, it simply scares people because they have to deal with two things. One, the logic, and next, how you write it. So Python sort of takes the second problem off because it has simpler syntax. And I was talking to you about this, right? So it has simpler syntax compared to other languages, which makes it well suited for beginners. So when a person learning Python, it's a bit easy for them to sort of understand what's going on. And to your sort of right hand side, you can see that. So this is the code that you write, and this is the output that you get. There's a code and this is the output. There's a code and this is the output. That's right. Green is syntax. So this can't be the syntax, right? Can this be the syntax? Hello, I am Python. This can't, right? So it's obvious, right? Understood? So hmm, mention what? Which symbols? This one? This is just for demonstration, okay? I mean, yes, we can start off. It's there are some things that we'll see, okay, when we are actually writing, okay. Now, why is it well suited? That it's well suited for beginners, guys, okay. And then it is object oriented. Now, what is object oriented? It is a characteristic of a programming language, which you can say in programming languages, the advanced way of writing a program is called object oriented programming. We'll see that as we go towards the classes and as we approach the topic. Okay. I think it is very early for me to sort of dive, and it will be sort of create unwanted confusion at this stage. Okay. Now, I think all the lines talk the same. So fewer lines of code. Okay. Now, to give you a comparison, if I would like to achieve the same in C++, yeah, it's you will need to write a lot of codes, right? Maybe 3-4 lines more. So the syntax is simpler. Okay. Now, now this is one of the, so if somebody asks me why Python is so popular, the fifth point is the one that I would really highlight. Now, every programming language has something called as libraries, or say formulas, in simple terms. For example, you are interested to calculate the power of a number, let's say 2 power 3, 2 power 8. So when you say 2 power 3, it is 2 into 2 into 2. 2 power 8 is 2 into 8 times, correct? So you can achieve the result by multiplying to n times, whichever n is, right? What if I tell you that there is already a formula, like you guys are seeing formulas in Excel. Did they start formulas? Which formulas did you see? Sum, right? So it's sum. So in Excel, you sum a range A1 is to A10. You can still get the same result by saying is equal to A1 plus A2 plus A3, A4, A5, but you will get the result by sum. Now, what is the need to have a formula? Because it makes it easier with the same logic. The functionality is same. You have to just pass in some parameters and then you get the result. Now, imagine achieving bigger tasks with formulas. Let's say you are um, uh, you're calculating a very sophisticated what formula should I say? Any, please, you can go, guys. I mean, no need. Just tell me anything if you want to sort of. Okay, so now apply the same logic for bigger and bigger formulas, right? Say calculating speed of something. So these things are already loaded. Applications for which the applications are machine learning, data science, etc. So these formulas are already loaded somewhere in the programming language, and then they are stored in libraries. Libraries are something that you can use whenever you want to execute something or use something, right? So Python supports wide range of such libraries or such functionalities which can be used for machine learning applications, statistical libraries. Okay. And these libraries are not just for machine learning, but also web scraping, data analysis. GUI stands for graphical user interface, and deep learning. So deep learning is almost sort of getting closer to the functionality of your brain. So that is deep learning. So there's machine learning and then there is deep learning. So ChatGPT is an application of deep learning. Now, Python supports many libraries that are mostly into AI and machine learning, right? We'll talk about it further, okay? So now, so with libraries, now I think it is clear to you that Python is not just used for web development. Now, if you want to sort of build a website, you would use, you would grab a particular library, sorts of a package, which offers these functionalities and use it in your program. The logic that you're building with your programming language is still going to be the same. You're just working with different functionalities, right? And then if you are interested to data analysis, there are libraries for that too, AI and automation. So Python for web development or application development is only one of the use case of programming language. Not just Python, any programming language. It's not that only a programming language is confined to a specific use case. It's not the case.
Technical term.
Should we talk about it post the discussion? At the end, we'll discuss because it is an interesting and wider subject that we'll address at the end. Okay. Now, when you talk about so two parts, guys. Okay. So understand it carefully. So you learn Python as a programming language first, as a language first, right? Like you learn car driving, the fundamentals of car driving first, right? Clutch, brake, gears, and all. And then you think of racing. You don't learn racing directly. Similarly, when you are learning a programming language, especially take in the context of Python, you learn basic programming first. Fundamental programming, which is common across everything. On top of that, you learn the the libraries that support various applications. So when somebody mentions to you that you just have to learn the basics or code, you are learning the programming as such. You're only learning the programming. The application depends upon your streams, right? So it's like an engineering person or a person who do medicine. They learn MBBS first, and after that they go to their respective specializations, right? So like that. So everyone learns programming first, and then depending upon the stream that they want to choose, somebody is interested to learn data science, they pick up a specific set of libraries, so different vertical that somebody has to choose inside Python. The fundamental is same. They're choosing a different thing. Next. Yes, I would suggest, because software development is not for you guys, because you're completely different from software development. So you guys have to sort of focus on data analytics and biostatistics, right? I think you guys have a subject for biostatistics. You had in so you have completed masters. You're in BTech, bachelor. You have done bachelor's. So now the subject, where is it? The subject in bachelor's. Okay, we'll talk about it. So, because you have that subject statistics, it will be very interesting for you guys to learn data analysis. So data is statistics, simply. It's a very colloquial word. Data is a very colloquial word, but it is statistics, correct? So like that, so when you are sort of interested to learn Python, core Python, people call it, and people use different names for it. So I say Python. So I don't have core. I only see the syllabus and then decide, okay, they want to learn till here. So because people come up with fancy names for these courses, I don't know. Right? When you say, sir, they want to learn core Python. Okay, now what is core Python? There are a lot of things, right? So how do you draw a Lakshman Rekha and then you say, this is core Python? There's nothing like that. And probably when you see the syllabus and all that makes more sense. So when somebody says core Python, they are referring to you learn Python as a whole. And then when you say advanced Python, you learn Python for a specific set of applications. You are interested to become a software engineer, you learn a specific, etc. Is this clear for you guys? Are you able to follow what I'm? So now let's narrow down your path to data analytics only. Okay. The libraries that support data analytics, or just the packages that support data analytical functionality in Python, are listed here. Okay. So you heard the word pandas before? No. So it is like, again, so everything are inside Python only. You use them to do various things, right? So that is a layer. And these come from different companies. Just like you have a car and then you have a different music system from Sony, JBL, or something like that, right? So a car, and then you go there, and then depending upon your music taste, you change the speaker and all, right? So like that only. So everything sits inside the programming. So don't go out of it. Everything is still Python. So that is pandas, right? So, but I'll tell you a very high level overview about pandas. So when you talk about data analysis, what do you see? You see a table in front of you, right? So SQL, or you must be learning SQL and tables or ranges, whatever. So it is a table fundamentally. So when you are talking about data analysis in Python, there has to be some mechanism that deals with tables or which handles tables. So pandas helps us to do that. So pandas is used for doing table level operations in Python. Okay. So matplotlib. So let me ask you a question. So seeing the logo, what do you think it is used for? System? Okay. Because it has MATH. Okay. Fair enough. You're saying system. System as it? Okay. But look at the logo nicely. So the people at Matplotlib has not done a good job to tell a story with their logo, right? The people are not able to tell a story. Yeah, I mean, I was confused. I'm just asking you this question. If I were you, I wouldn't answer. But what do you see at O, PLOT? What do you think that is? Huh? Oh my goodness. Fan. Which which is this fan has different wings, right? Wing sizes. It's definitely not a fan, right? You have Matt. I mean, wow. Okay. You want to add anything? Like a helicopter? It's not right. So, you told Matt, right? You just have to hop a letter ahead and you see plot. So integral part of data analysis is plotting data. So when the data gets very huge, it's not possible no matter how big you see it or how much you see, you'll see numbers and numbers. You can't draw any inferences out of that uh, about the data just by looking at it, right? Descriptive data. You can't get any insights out of it. So usually we data analysts plot data to get some understanding about how the data is looking like. So a library is there in Python, which helps us to sort of take care of the plotting also. So that is Matplotlib. Okay. Seaborn is also used for plotting, and it is, I would say, an advanced version of Matplotlib. Okay. Seaborn is used for advanced scientific mathematical plotting. Okay. I'll show you some examples as to how these charts and all look. They are very interesting. And then NumPy stands for, heard of this name? Heard? Ah, that's right, man. That's numerical Python. NumPy stands for numerical Python. So this is not used in data analysis actually. A little bit is converges definitely for sure, little bit. But mostly it's used in deep learning and AI. So uh, uh, it's, the logos, I mean, when you are dealing, NumPy is used when we are dealing with matrices and a lot of mathematical related things. So it's all about that, right? So now let's get into pandas now. So this is basically a snapshot from the pandas website. So this is the timeline. It was developed in 2008, pretty old. Okay, so you can just go through it. So this is about something about numerical Python. These are screen grabs from the website. Okay, you can sort of access it from this one. Yeah, numpy.org, whatever. And this is Matplotlib, right? So it is, yeah, Matplotlib offers very beautiful visualizations, right? Hmm? Yeah, right. So uh, so Matplotlib is used for advanced visualizations. Uh, have you did you see any visuals, data visuals before? Not even charts. You must be pie charts, right? You have seen pie charts. What does pie chart tell versus a bar chart? What is the difference between a pie and a bar? Information wise, what does it show? What does pie show versus what does a bar chart show? So bar chart helps us to plot um, some quantity and the values related to that quantity, right? Which product was sold how much. You can sort of visualize that in a bar chart, right? Pie always shows a share percentage. So you have a pie, you have a circle, and then that is divided into different slices, and then that slices are nothing but percentages only. Okay. But when you're performing advanced data analysis, we move beyond these pie charts and bar charts. There are other sophisticated charts that we will encounter, especially when you're getting into data science and all. And those things are offered in Matplotlib. Okay. So this is Seaborn. So these are the different types of charts that are sorts of okay. So this chart is called a correlation plot. Hmm? Yeah, correlation. Yeah, we'll discuss that, right? This is a correlation plot, the statistical data visualization, and then this is a line chart, and then box plot. That's the charts, all right? Power BI is a tool, business intelligence tool. So this is like software. It's very different. So Power BI is used to bring a lot of data together onto an application and then allow users to interact with that data. Like you build an application of your own. Okay. So if Excelytics wants to keep a track of the management of Excelytics wants to keep a track of how many students are right now enrolled, how many of them have churned away, how many of them are about to complete the certifications, which batches are going on, who are the instructions, all that. They would put everything on a place. On a spreadsheet, no, because spreadsheet is not so interactive and it has limitations. So you have the 1 million records in a spreadsheet and then it's over. And then you put 3 sheets like that, you are killing the spreadsheet. It does not open, it simply crashes. So you would build a Power BI, you build a Power BI dashboard, and then plot everything on a Power BI dashboard, and then you can sort of interact with all of them together. And then the data refreshes, like it has nothing to do with BI. It's Python. It's totally different. So in Python, you sort of do analysis step by step. There you're having total. So that is for the stakeholders, for the upper management to take some decisions. So that's why we call it BI, business intelligence. All right. The top companies that use the many companies I mean there are every company uses Python in some capacity or the other. So every company has a data analytics team, and all of them use Python, right? So the popular ones: Netflix, Google, Spotify, Pinterest, Amazon. So I used these companies in this because these are the companies that leverage high amounts of AI. So you see Netflix, and then you come back, Netflix is going to suggest you a movie that you're based on your watch history. How does it do that? So there's a part in AI which is called recommender systems. So it sort of keeps a track of how many minutes you're watching, what sort of genre are you interested in, who are the actors, at what time of the day you're watching these things, your rating, all that is nicely taken by the computer, the Netflix engine, and sort of recommends you based on that. I think Netflix also asks you to rate the movie after you complete watching it, right? Google, guys, uh, hmm,
How did they know that I'm watching this device?
hmm.
And then they'll in my machine, how does they know like what I'm
Where are you watching this?
their data? Actually, this
You're watching it in there. You're using the device just for you,
platform.
but you're going inside their area. You're going into Netflix, and then you're watching it inside their software. So how can you not expect them to see you? Everything is taken. Every small nuance of yours.
Accept all this country.
You accept all the conditions, and who reads those conditions? And if you don't accept the conditions, you're not going inside. Correct? So, and these companies have, guys, I mean, these companies have strong privacy policies and all, user policies and all. So I assume they don't do anything wrong with our data. Is it a movie? Okay. All right. Okay. Come back. So I thought they started playing something. Well, but high chances of misuse, right? And then Google, you guys know the power of Google, like everything is Google, right? Spotify. Um, it's not just,
What songs, some charts.
yeah. It sort of tells you how many hours did you listen? Yeah. But I think that's very simple compared to what Spotify will do, actually. Spotify will recommend you songs basis your, and just imagine how interesting that is because because when it is recommending, it is not recommending basis the genre. It's not saying suggest me romantic Telugu songs. It's not just suggesting you romantic. It's suggesting you songs that are in a specific scale. So Arijit Singh has sung many songs, but if you are listening only specific songs that he has sung, it's only recommending you that, which means the engine is listening to the ragas and all. So which is what Spotify does. You know,
Even when you speak whatever, like we are speaking or something,
yeah.
it recognizes and gives same data.
I mean, yes. So it is
Or something.
speaking as in I'm sorry, I did not get
We
you.
are speaking to one topic,
Yeah.
and we are looking on we are opening a phone, and we get saving the data which we are speaking right now.
I have not.
We have seen many times.
We make an example of Instagram.
Right.
Then we talk about something,
Mhm.
like I want to read this very same. And then we scroll, you will get
Within
the
5 minutes,
same
you
thing
save
what
on
you're
that.
watching.
Really?
Yes, it happens so many.
My friend, like I'm just saying example.
It always happens. Whatever should be happens.
Whatever he speaks, whatever he speaks,
Whatever comes
he
in
get
our mind or-
notification within minutes.
It's not about, we speak to someone, sir. Even if we think in our mind also. It's coming like that.
It's like
It
either
is show up
you're a
in
chip
the
or-
field.
But how are you thinking about it? I mean, what makes you think is the first question. Where are you getting that thought from? Let's say, for example, I can tell you one thing. So now you guys are in this institute, right? Excelytics. So Google knows you where you are. Google knows you are in Excelytics. So Google knows your profile, you're falling inside a certain age group, and then it knows you are coming to Excel. Okay, Google knows you are here. Maybe it does not know in which flow you are in, but there are two, three establishments that are there in Google, right? So actually, I work for Google through Cognizant. I work for Google Street View. So I can tell you this with assertion. So now Google knows you are in this location opposite this temple, but does not know which floor you are. But you fall in a specific age group. Now, are you more probable to, so there's a wedding thing below, more probable to go there or come here? Equal, right? Let's say you go here and then you must be doing some searching related. After you go home, you search some related to Python. So Google has nice evidence that you are sort of learning something coming to a institute, right? So then it automatically triggers you the same. So I think that way it works. But thinking and then getting,
I feel sometimes
they don't.
it's the
Yeah.
Neuralink you started a neurochipping mindset.
Yes.
I feel like
Yeah.
like we have to.
Because
Now if I open the Instagram and I speak like I want to look like talking regarding a rare rabbit or something, within 5 minutes I'll get the same.
you'll get a ad of the rare rabbit.
Yeah.
Same.
I don't know how it is.
Oh,
With all the like I to private settings and I try many times, but we don't get all that.
there are chances that people can hear you because so this aspect in artificial intelligence, there's a specified branch which I specialize. This is called NLP. It's called natural language processing. So NLP takes care of handling data. So this is also data, your intonation, everything. So it takes care of how you talk and convert that. Maybe you have Siri on your iPhone, right? You're talking in natural language, and then sort of it understands. Or maybe you write a chat to ChatGPT. You write it in normal language, right? It paraphrases for you. So that is there, but I don't know how much of it is taken by the loudspeaker or microphone of your mobile phone, and then it might have happened. Maybe I did not give attention to it. It might have happened many times. So I don't use.
Seeing one video, like Sundar Pichai he was asked like, will you encrypt the data, whole data? So it tells that based on the like he gives suggestions, right, sir? When we are opening the app, like he gives us terms and conditions. But sometimes they might open the data. Sir.
Sundar Pichai told this?
Yeah, I've seen even the Meta CEO.
Right. Meta CEO Zook. So he sorts of. These are gray areas, guys. I mean, nobody knows what's going on, right? Our date. See, once you are inside internet, your data is sold, as in because you itself give permissions to cookies and all, right? So cookies are nothing but they sit in your browser. Cookies from a particular website sit in your browser. They can keep a track of whatever you are doing. So you search for flight tickets, and then your flight ticket prices shoot up. Correct? You search for 2, 3 places. For example, you are searching you watch the YouTube video basis best places to visit in Goa, and then you come to make my trip and search for flight tickets to Goa. You'll see a increased price ticket because somebody is seeing your watch history, browsing history, everything is being taken. So that is there. But how much of information that you're storing inside your hard drive, your computer, I'm not talking about the internet, your computer, your personal computer, how much of that is profiled? I'm not sure. Can it be? It can be because we do it. I mean, for example, we are building applications. So in our company, we have a team which is so it is an operations team. And then it's like a customer, not customer care. So we have some people. So there's an operations lead, and then he has some 10 to 15 people under him. And these people are field people who go on to the field and then do some operations. So, and once they go, they have a lot of queries again and again. So they continuously text this guy on WhatsApp or maybe on some place. So we built an application to sort of track all that chat history and then summarize what they are trying to do and sort of raise tickets accordingly so that he need not read each and every message. So that's possible. How much of that are we part of? I don't know. Maybe again, it's like conspiracy and all stuff, right? So yeah, coming back to Python, okay? Coming back to Chikatpalli. Now, what will you learn? You want to leave? Okay, you're allowed to. Please close the door, okay? Okay. So, what are we going to learn? So, I mean, the approach is going to be pure practical uh, right from day one. This is the last time you'll see me showing you a PPT, right? So, we will actually sit and code nicely. And then we'll solve problems. So as I told you, programming, everyone learns programming the hard way, guys, to be honest with you. So there's no easy way or something. You will be facing a little bit, you'll have to take few blows first, and then you will learn it. It's okay. Everyone goes through it. And there's no day where you feel confident about. Even I am doing it for a good amount of time and I don't feel confident. I don't claim myself to be a champion of programming. I know a good amount of programming, but no programmer in the world is a champion because there are some things that you can't solve, right? So the only thing is how comfortable are you getting with these punches, correct? So on day one, you'll be scared seeing all those errors, or slowly you get used to it, and then you're better at handling these errors, right? So you'll see all the concepts from basic to advanced, and then you will be given decent amount of assignments also. Okay, which you will be expected to work on. And then since you have a week gap, right? So you will be more expected to promptly answer them. Okay. And then coding challenges also, we'll do something online live here. And then there is me, right? So you can always, it's not that I'm uh, teaching you and then leaving. So you have the WhatsApp group. You will find my number there. If you have any doubts, please feel free to ping me on WhatsApp. Any doubt you have, because we are meeting for a limited amount of time in a week, and also overall very less, right? You are here for only Python, so make sure that you're utilizing that time efficiently. Okay. The best part about programming, once you learn it, it's with you. Yeah, it does not go away from you, right? And you guys say that you have biostats in your resume. I mean your syllabi, right? Add Python inside your resume. It will add value. After you learn it, add this. It will add value because biostats is a popular field of data science. Okay. So statistics, data analytics, I'm not sure. Python will add value for sure. Okay. Excel goes without saying, guys. It's not that uh, you don't write Excel in your resume, right? Because it's obvious. Nobody asks a question related to Excel also because they assume you know. If you know better Excel, basically you are doing better productivity at your work. Okay, so that is the difference that Excel creates at work. So now you have SQL. So it's good. I mean, SQL is a programming language that everyone learns at the beginning. It's the first programming language that everyone learns because it sort of uh, introduces you to syntaxes. No. So how much of SQL has been completed so far?
Queries,
You
starting queries.
how many did you write any query? How many classes are completed?
2 to 3. Yeah, 4. First day was the basic and second was installation only.
Mm.
2 plus.
You're working on which workbench? Okay, fine. So keep a track of that also closely, because again, it will sort of help you get comfortable with syntaxes, which you guys are new to completely, right? Yeah, so that's the last point. And then, so these are the tools that we are going to use, guys. Like you have SSMS for SQL. There are some tools that we have to write these things on. So you have Collab Notebook, Visual Studio Code, and Jupyter. And can anyone learn Python? Definitely not. So there are some prerequisites to learn Python. Just a second. Getting on. All right. So now, so what are the prerequisites to learn Python? So not much. So all you need is a little bit of time, a good amount of curiosity, because I think that is what should drive your learning. Okay. So if you are curious, you will learn things by yourself. So I will build, I can give you the motivation to learn a concept, right? You have to catch that and then start to build things by yourself. And then the last one is important. Patience, guys. Very important. Okay. You cannot learn coding without patience, because as I told you, um, I wouldn't say programming is easy, but it is definitely not hard. So you have to be a little bit patient, and then sorts of take one day at a time and then learn it. It will be easy for you. You learn it and you learn it. It is not something that will expire from your mind, right? It's there with you always. And now you have a question. So any questions so far? Any questions you have, Subun? Okay. So I think that is all from you guys. Don't have any questions, right? So AI. Yeah, we'll wind up the session and tell it, because I'm not sure how much Sugun or anyone else watching this video would be interested to your question. So it's better not to trouble them, correct? So I'll wind up this and we can have a nice free discussion about it. Okay. No questions related to Python? Mhm.
The data, restoring data, and then in Python also can be restored or should we write the whole thing, give the data to that we restore it.
We have to do everything from scratch. So
Not
no. You can retrieve data and then you can work out, but mostly you are building everything from the scratch. Okay. Well, so we can end the session here. Fine.